So, hello. The main reason I am here today is this sentence. Because all I wanted to say today is that in the age of technology and automation, human creativity still matters, that it still has an impact, that it still has a meaning. I mean, this sentence is just an empty phrase. It's a line. It's only a line, and without the context, it means nothing. So let's deconstruct it, let's find the context, and let's answer some important questions. The first question is, do we need creativity? This is not an easy question because the answer is a paradox. This is no and yes at the same time. Because no, we don't need creativity, and yes, we need creativity very much. We don't need creativity as much as the pop culture tries to convince us, because we don't need creativity to live, to breathe, to exist. I'm not being creative right now. I'm not being creative at the moment. I don't need creativity at the moment, right here. But I needed my creativity when I was preparing this speech for you. So now you are listening to the product of my creativity. So the first thing I'd like you to remember is that creativity is what we do, not who we are. The creativity is the thing about our actions, it's about the products of these actions, it's not about us. The creativity is a process. It's a process of changing your idea into product. So, here comes another question. When and why do we need creativity? There is no innovation without the creative action. There is no innovation without creativity. Each innovation starts with the creativity, starts with the creative action. So, we need creativity in our professional life. We need creativity as a professional tool. We need creativity to design products and solutions. We need creativity to build and change the world. So, let's go back to the history. I would like to show you two magnificent works of art, the two magnificent masterpieces I adore, and that are not only important for me, but also for millions of people around the world. This person you see here is Hieronymus Bosch. He was born in the 15th century. He is one of the most famous painters in the history of the art. But the point is that I would have never heard of Hieronymus Bosch, the famous painter who was born in the 15th century, if there were no products of his creativity, if there was not this. This is the Garden of Earthly Delights. This is his most famous painting. He painted around 1503, so over 500 years ago. So you may be asking yourself now, why am I showing it to you today in 2025 when there are so many new inventions, when there are so many innovations, when there's so much technology around, and I'm showing you some vintage, old oak panel painted with oil paints. So please think about it. What can we do today to be remembered in the next 500 years? Can we still do it? Is it even possible? Maybe yes, maybe not. But I'm sure that Hieronymus Bosch didn't just wake up one day to paint a masterpiece. He didn't know that his masterpiece will last for centuries, that it will last to 2025. So remember, your creativity, your creative action may become your legacy one day. Remember about it. Next time you will struggle with ideas. We will try to deal with your ideas. Remember about Hieronymus Bosch and his 500 years old painting I decided to show you today in 2025 at the Startup Conference. So another masterpiece I want to show you is this thing. If you don't know what is it, I will explain. This is a pen, this is a device designed to inject insulin without the syringe. How do I know that? Why do I call it a masterpiece? Because I have one here today with me, yes. I've been diagnosed with diabetes in 1992 when I was 11. Now I'm 44, not 50. And so the point is that the product of the creativity of these three men, two of them got the Nobel Prize for inventing an insulin in 1923. So the product of their creativity, let me live. Yes, that's the truth. I'm here today because their creativity saved my life. It saved my life every day, and it saves the lives of millions of people every day around the world. So, creativity makes our world a better place. So what does it mean to be creative? I'm asking this question because, in general, most people are missing the point. We are missing the point because we are thinking of creativity as thinking outside the box. But in my opinion, it's not thinking outside the box. If you have ever played with the Lego bricks in your childhood, you might have noticed that to be creative with the Lego bricks, you actually don't need to invent the Lego bricks. That to be creative playing with the Lego bricks, there's everything that's enough is the thing that you have in the box, are the bricks you own, not the one that you are trying to invent. So as Margaret A. Bowden said, is that we are being creative mostly by combining and exploring what we already have, by combining and exploring the system we already know, by combining and exploring in the box, not outside the box. And once in a while, very rarely, we are able to transform something. We are able to transform a culture, we are able to transform our behavior, we are able to transform everything around us. So, when you look at your smartphones, this is a very innovative device. Sure, it changed our world, it transformed our world, it changed the way we behave, we buy, we changed the way we are in the world today. But the truth is that the smartphone is innovative because it combines the products of creativity that were there before. All these things you see here, they were once the separate system, the separate devices that we had, and the smartphones, the creativity behind the smartphone combines this system into the one tiny device. Let's go back to the Bosch and his Garden of Earthly Delights. I mean, the world that Hieronymus Bosch created is a magnificent thing. You know, I've been staring at this painting for years. Yes, for years, all over the years, and I still don't understand this world he created. But the truth is that it's all just a painting, that Hieronymus Bosch didn't invent the painting itself. He just explored the possibility of painting with the technologies that other people, that other painters had before him and other painters had when he was painting. I mean, a wooden panel, the brushes, the oil paints, everyone had it. So this is an exploration of the possibilities that are in the painting. So yes, as I said before, once in a while, yes, we can transform the world, but this isn't something that you can foresee. You cannot foresee that your innovation, that the product of your creativity will transform the world. You know, we had many of these things in the history. I mean, the moving time by Johannes Gutenberg, the insulin I've been speaking about before, the theory of relativity by Albert Einstein, and artificial intelligence now has also this transformative power. But mostly, every day, when you are using creativity in your professional life, you are mostly using just combination and exploration. You are combining and exploring the systems you already know. So, at the end of my presentation, I would like to share with you with 4 rather powerful insights on creativity. I mean, they are powerful if you want to understand the creativity as something professional. So first insight, imagination is not enough. Very often we say that creativity is an imagination, but this is a bullshit. This isn't true, because an imagination really isn't enough if you want to change your idea into product. It's not enough. You cannot create a product using only your imagination. No, the thing you also need is your expertise. As Teresa M. Amabai said, the creativity is the connection of the three components: the expertise, the creative thinking skills, and the motivation, mostly interesting motivation. So, as you see, the imagination is over there on your right side. It's the creative thinking skills, but it's not enough, because to be fully creative, to make the product of your creativity, you need also everything you've learned so far. You need the expertise, you need the competencies, you need all the things that you were learning before. So people often say that the school kills creativity, but this is untrue, because you know everything you've learned is also important for the creativity. You have to know where you are going to, but you also need to know where you are coming from. So, next thing, creativity loves technology. I mean, it's very important these days because we are speaking about this very, very, very often. Because, you know, the thing about creativity and technology is that we have been living in a world for decades now where we cannot create anymore without the technology. Because, you know, as Marshall McLuhan said, the technologies are the extensions of our bodies, of our minds, of our brains. So we use technology to create. We use technologies to create, but when we are using the technology, we must remember that we are in charge, that the technology cannot control us, that we are the ones that control the technology, that the tech output needs to be our output firstly, okay? That when we are, that the technology is just a tool, it's an option, it's not the creativity itself. The next thing, the next insight is that creative people obey the rules. Well, I know that is very difficult to swallow, but yes, this is the truth, because we very often we speak about creativity as something that is totally the sky of the limit, that this is the freedom, that these are the endless possibilities and things like this. But this is not true, because when you think about any creative project, I mean, when you are trying to make a product out of your idea, then it is very obvious that there is always a framework for your creativity. That there are the rules that you need to obey. You cannot be free in your professional work as a creative person. This freedom is not enough. You need to obey the rules that becomes with your deadlines, with your budgets, with clients, with strategy, with briefs, with other people you work with people that are above you. So the creativity is not a freedom. It's not only a freedom, it's also obeying the rule. Creativity is not only a dreamer's business, it's also a thing for the critical thinkers, for the logical thinkers, for engineers as well. Creativity is a thing for all of us. So, as I said before, the human creativity still makes an impact. Yes, it still makes an impact. It makes an impact because the history of creativity is truly a history of our cultural expressions, of all our innovation all over the domains. Is the history of the mankind. Thank you very much for being here tonight with me. If you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, this is the code for my LinkedIn page. I'm here, of course, for the rest of the evening, so we can share some ideas or just say how at the networking space. Thank you very much. Thank you, Błażej, for inviting me, and see you.